global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happiness Today. UGM in Southeast are beginning to drive home their point, and they're beginning to drive it not just to Southeasterners, but they're heading straight to the federal government. And the federal government officials are now helping them to speak up what they want. Who knows? So maybe the narrative may likely be changing anytime soon. But before we go into the newspaper to find out what UGM have done again that is causing officials to begin to speak up even for them, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, the Akwa Ibom State Resident Electoral Commissioner, that's REC, Mike Igini, has revealed that Independent National Electoral Commission INEC officials and materials are being attacked in parts of Southeast because the gunmen want a referendum and not an election. He said the wanton bringing down of people are a consequence of the demands of the UGM who are perpetrating this criminal act. Igini, who spoke on Arise TV, Wednesday, disclosed that one of the UGM opened up on what they want ahead of 2023 elections. Look, I'm quoting them now. They said, look, they're talking about referendum and INEC is talking about elections. It is classic ignorance of the duties and statutory responsibilities of INEC. Our democracy is a hard one. We worked so hard to return Nigeria to democratic civil rule, and I think all stakeholders stood up when the journey of Nigeria and the prospect of democracy were less certain. We all came together to stem down the threat of insecurity ahead of elections. This is so necessary because an election is an opportunity for the people to review the policies and reflect on certain things and on those who have promoted these policies over time. That is why what happened in Imo State last week shows clearly that ignorance was at play. I listened to one of the UGM talking, and he said a lot of things Igini said. He urged Nigerians to stand up and defend democracy. All stakeholders, I'm quoting him now, said all stakeholders should come together to ensure we stem down the tide of insecurity as we prepare for the 2023 elections, the REC said. Igini said, under the law, INEC is the only body saddled with the responsibility of conducting elections and referendum whenever it is called. Why attack INEC? Why kill their staff? He asked. Why destroy the properties of INEC that even when a referendum is called is what will be used? That is ignorance at play, he added. The ICIR reported that INEC suspended the continuous voters registration, that CVR exercise, in the Ihite Obama local government area of Imo State after a staff was shot dead by the UGM. Meanwhile, the president, Muhammadu Buhari, has said no contender for any political office could claim millions of votes again in Nigeria. A statement released on Tuesday in Abuja by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, said Buhari spoke when he hosted some governors, ministers, and other top functionaries in his government to break the Ramadan fast as iftar. Now you've heard what UGM are saying, and now they've been able to communicate same to INEC official. And for the records, it's still the same INEC. They have, as I don't know if they'll change the policy, but for the now, if there's going to be a referendum, if there's going to be an election, it has to be INEC, because they're independent, they're the one in charge of counting of votes and all that. Now, I guess they're driving it straight to those who are responsible to hoist the referendum, but it is not their call now to make the referendum happen. The question is it permissive in our constitution for a referendum? That clause was removed. I could still recollect when they said that when they wanted to put that clause of referendum, so it was still Azikiwe. Nnamdi Azikiwe that said, okay, so that they will be bonded, Nigeria will be bonded in one love and one unity, that clause for referendum should not be considered, so that no matter what happened, the next generations after them and generations to come will forge ahead regardless of the ups and downs, but they will find a way around it and surmount the mountains ahead of them and become victorious. But it looks like this particular mountain is so, I wouldn't want to say it's insurmountable, but in as much as it is built on injustices, is built on marginalization, where some ethnic groups feel marginalized and others feel that they have the ownership mentality, ownership of the country. I don't think all Nigeria will push and pave way to the dream that ought to be the giant of Africa. So the best thing to do is probably look into, I keep saying this, can we not have a stakeholders meeting? Let's can we not use last option, which is militarization, as our first? And I still believe that even this issue of Boko Haram all began because it was mismanaged at the cradle level. Now it has grown to be a monster. It is hitting on everyone. And I still believe that this issue and call out for agitation for Biafra is no longer in its cradle level, but care must be taken for it to be handled properly. So we don't have, in fact, already we're already having a situation in our hands, but so we can manage the situation we have in our hands and see how we can have a dialogue with them. All right, but the only way out, if you ask me, is for equity to return, justice to return, fairness to return, and corruption they should be dealt with. But if people are, rewarding corruption and punishing hard work, then we have made up our mind as a nation that we're not going to move ahead. So that you can now imagine that UGM has been able to send their message very loud and clear to INEC, telling them in no certain term that you are busy looking for voters card to register or voters registration. They are not looking at 2023 elections. They already seen themselves as a sovereign nation. All they are demanding for is a referendum. But the question is, if if elections can be rigged in Nigeria, how are you so sure that even if this referendum call is being done, that it will still not be rigged in favor of those who want to remain in Nigeria? Some have been calling out saying that just at the time where the referendum call will be made, and if eventually it is accepted, that the people involved, other tribes who are looking into the issue of referendum and voting and going out of Nigeria, we may likely be looking at bringing in international communities, international body to help do the count. Okay, bringing UN officials to help do the count so that it will be the true picture of the mind of the people. Let's see how it plays out. That's where we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our conversation. Also, do have a nice time.